Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly style snack. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new here, my name is April. Welcome. And every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I share a style snack with you. And uh, today's is a very special one. When I came home from my first year of college, my dad asked me what I had learned that year. And I said, well, I learned that I don't actually have to do laundry until I'm out of socks and underwear. So I bought more socks and underwear. That wasn't exactly what he had in mind, but little did he know that that was my version of something I had learned from him. Men aren't typically known for being fashion savvy or even interested in style. And while my dad isn't Karl Lagerfeld, he has always dressed very well and taken great pride in his appearance. Through his example and, okay, the lectures he's so famous for, he has taught me some really important style lessons I still follow today. Being totally honest, I could stand to follow some of them more closely. So this is, well, let's call it the lecture to myself to save him the trouble. With Father's Day approaching this weekend, I want to honor my own dad by sharing the style lessons I learned from him. So the first style lesson I learned from him was look your best every day. If I had a penny, and this is an ongoing family joke, so I'm not being disrespectful to my dad, okay? Let's just be clear about that. But if I had a penny for every time I heard the good grooming lecture, I'd be a wealthy woman. All of us would, all the kids in my family. But it is a topic he is admittedly passionate about. He told us that when you fix your hair, put on something nice, and that means clean, pressed, and appropriate to the situation. Be clean, smell nice, brush your hair. You'll feel better about yourself. He has always practiced what he still preaches and followed us around with a comb if necessary. He also taught us that whether it's right or wrong, people will treat you differently based on how you are groomed, to use his word. You don't have to be dressed in the most expensive or trendiest clothes, have a fancy hairstyle, or pile on the makeup, but being clean and taking pride in your appearance shows others you take care of yourself, you respect yourself, and they will treat you accordingly. His generation would call it looking respectable. I am a big believer in this, and I get up and get dressed every day. It makes me feel better about myself, and it makes my day go better. The next lesson I learned from my dad is I am worthy of self-care. Oh, wait, I was going to show you some pictures of my dad. Hold on. I went through and found some oldies but goodies. It was kind of hard to find because he was usually behind the camera, unfortunately. And so there aren't as many great pictures of him as there are of the rest of us. But we got some good ones. So let me introduce you to my dad. This is a professional picture he had taken a few years ago. Isn't he handsome? That's my dad. Okay, let's go on to our next lesson. I am worthy of self-care. When middle school acne started, we went straight to the dermatologist. When I wanted all of the tragic perms I have ever gotten, I got them. My dad gritted his teeth the way many dads do and let me transition from a little girl to a young woman, and I started wearing makeup and shaving my legs. My parents probably could retire on what it cost to straighten my teeth. We always had a few of the it brands sprinkled into our wardrobes. With 6 kids, the budget was always a priority, but he's always known how important it is to feel like you belong and to feel great about how you look. or as great as anyone can feel like they look in middle and high school. So when there was something that we wanted to feel prettier or more confident, he prioritized it while keeping the family budget in mind. Fortunately for my parents, they only have 2 girls out of the 6 kids, or we might have bankrupted them. My brothers were pretty low maintenance in that department. And today I think of it as self-care. Like most women, I struggle with valuing myself enough to do many of the things related to self-care, like get enough sleep and exercise, but not when it comes to my appearance. Like I said, I know I'm worth some time each morning to make myself look nice. I'd go and get my hair and nails done. Or when I couldn't afford to get my nails done, I did my nails myself. Not during the crazy newborn years or little kids years. I just want to be honest about that. Like, these are phases and stages, what I did when, right? But I take care of my skin and my teeth, and I wear clothes I feel confident in. And I try to do the same for our kids. And let's all have a moment of silence, because as of this morning, we now have 5 kids in braces. Yeah. But that's important. It's important to my kids. It's important to us. And I learned that from my dad. So, shall we share? I did dig up some tragic pictures. If you want to see an example of just how bad my teeth were, it was a train wreck in my mouth. I don't know if you can see that. Well, and that's one of the tragic perms too, but that got a little bit of everything: the acne, the teeth, and the perms, the ill-advised perms, which I actually have naturally curly hair. I just didn't know how to deal with it. Perm curls are more consistent, but this, when I turned 16, my mom said, if you're wondering where your car is, you should check your orthodontist's driveway. I'm sure he enjoys driving it. There was a lot, and maybe some poor application on the makeup there, but he wanted me to feel good about how I looked, and I thought those perms were a good idea. The braces were definitely a good idea. He let me use my own judgment on the perms. Let's talk about the third style lesson I learned from my dad: be prepared. When my dad was young, his pockets were full of rocks, string, and toys. As an adult, his pockets have continued to be full, but now he carries fingernail clippers, a small plastic comb, and a handkerchief. He used to carry chapstick. I don't know if he still does. We can always go to him for an emergency hangnail, a smudge on the face, or a hair out of place. More like a lot of hairs out of place. And I carry my own version of this in my bag. I keep a tiny foldable brush, lip gloss, hand sanitizer, wipes, and it would probably be a really good idea for me to add some fingernail clippers. That is what we have gone to him for, without a doubt, the most. We are always asking him for his clippers. So let's take a look at a few pictures of my dad. I wish I had more pictures of my dad and me. But like I said, he was usually the one behind the camera. But that's a good one. In his office. I like that one. I was standing on something, obviously. What is that? It's all kind of shrink a little bit. But yeah, hanging out with my dad in his office. I was in my jammies. It must have been about bedtime. The next lesson I learned from my dad is it's better to be overdressed than underdressed. While many men look at a tie and think of a noose, a business suit is my dad's very favorite thing to wear, and it's what you'll find him in 90% of the time. I truly believe he arrived in this world wearing one. No matter where he goes, he is never underdressed. Now, I am not saying everyone needs to run around in business professional attire, though it is my not so secret fantasy to do this myself. But whenever I'm not sure how I should dress for a situation, I usually choose to be overdressed. And I'm always more comfortable being overdressed than underdressed every time. So let's take a peek at my dad. Okay, this one makes me laugh. Let's see if I can make it zoom in a little bit bigger. What was it? Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the other. What do you see here? My dad's wearing a vest and he must have just taken off his suit coat to pick me up. That's me in his arms. That's my older brother. There's my mom pregnant with my sister, and that's my dad's mom. We're all super cash, right? And there's my dad dressed to the nines. And that's just how he rolls. The next lesson I learned from my dad is to buy the best quality you can afford. Because my dad wants his clothes to last and he wears all of them, he buys the best quality he can afford. Buying cheap clothes isn't a bargain if they stretch, shrink, fade, or lose their structure after just a few washes. Not only will you spend more money replacing them, you'll also spend more time looking for the replacement. So you're being frugal with your money and your time when you buy things that will last. Not every item is worthy of top dollar. Since my dad mostly wears suits, dress shirts, and ties and wingtips, he follows this advice for those items. But his casual uniform is to wear jeans, a dress shirt, and a sweatshirt or a cardigan because he's always cold like I am. If he's working on his cars in the garage, he'll put on a t-shirt. He's had his jeans for a very long time, so the quality is definitely there with those. His sweatshirts and t-shirts are in the budget category because if my dad ever did actually get dirty, I've never seen him dirty ever. And it's not because he doesn't do anything. Like I said, he loves to work on his cars. And even when he eats, he's never, I don't know how he does it, but he's never messy ever. I've never seen him get something on his clothes, but just in case, he changes into the t-shirt because if he ever did get dirty, that's where it would show up. He's just very careful. When you take good care of your clothes, even the least expensive items will look nice. Though I fell into the clearance rack trap for many years, I changed my ways a few years ago, and now I follow the same example. In a previous style snack, I shared how I split up my own budget in my wardrobe, but the summary is I invest in my wardrobe staples, shoes, bags, and jackets. Something like a white tee is not going to stay white for more than a few years, so I don't blow my budget there. And I also put trendy items in the budget category. So let's take another look at a picture of my dad. This is a picture of I'm the one sitting, and that's my niece in my lap. And to put a time frame on that, my niece is married now. She's the oldest grandchild in the family. And we were doing the magic handkerchief. This is not the handkerchief he keeps in his pocket, though. That's a different one. This one is the magic handkerchief, and it only comes out for the magic handkerchief demonstration. And you have to hold your nose and blow on the magic handkerchief and be very quiet and reverent, which only means that you burst into giggles. There's nothing that will make you giggle more than being told that you have to be quiet or the magic handkerchief won't work. Of course, he never believed we'd be quiet. It was just more to torture us in a fun way. Like he knew it would make us laugh and fall apart. And so my niece is holding my nose and telling me to be quiet so the magic handkerchief will work. This was her first magic handkerchief experience. And if you want to know what the magic handkerchief does, is it produces candy. You never know what kind of candy is going to come out. It could be a pack of gum. It could be some individually wrapped hard candies. It's a surprise. It's a surprise. And there's always enough for everyone. That's part of the magic handkerchief, is there's some for everyone. So he's been doing the magic handkerchief since I was a little girl. All right. The next lesson I learned from my dad is to take care of your things. I don't know anyone who takes care of their clothes and shoes like my dad, but it's why his items last for so long. And it's one reason he feels confident buying the best quality he can afford. He rotates his clothes and shoes so they get a break. He usually doesn't wear the same shoes 2 days in a row. He intentionally rotates them. Constant dry cleaning can ruin your clothes quickly, so he hangs them up immediately after he takes them off so they maintain their shape, and then he steams them in between to keep them fresh. If he knows he'll be doing something messy, he changes out of his nice clothes and puts on something appropriate to the task. Like I said, I've never seen him messy, but just in case, he's prepared. When he gets home, he wipes his shoes down, including the sole of his shoes, with a damp paper towel before putting them away. He comes home, walks into the kitchen, gets a damp paper towel, stands at the counter, and wipes down his shoes. I mean, he gives them a good wipe down. Top, bottom, sides, gets in around the sole. Like, they're clean when he's done. And then he pats them dry with a soft towel and puts them away. These are all things we tease my dad about, but they're really good things. I mean, they're smart things to do. How many of you actually polish your shoes? It seems to be a dying art, but my dad still faithfully polishes and buffs his shoes. There are a few favorite items I have in my closet that I've purchased duplicates of and rotate which one I will wear so that they last longer. And that's one of the things that I've done. I haven't done this with a ton of things. Like, there's just a couple of things I like, a few pairs of jeans and a few sweaters that I've bought duplicates of. And I rotate which ones I wear so that they don't wear out as quickly. While I haven't learned the fine art of polishing shoes, and I have some boots in desperate need, so I'm going to ask him for a lesson. I do take care of my clothes. I keep them clean. I choose my outfit based on what's happening on my calendar. And I also buy clothes that fit my actual lifestyle, so they will put up with what my days usually include. And that is why I don't wear business corporate wear, even though I would love to on a daily basis. So I have a couple of pictures of my dad in his casual uniform. And even in his casual uniform, he just always still looks nice. So here we are. There's the tragic perm again. like the bangs. You see that? This was Christmas morning. I think my mom was behind the camera and she made him do the nose because he made us do it so many times with the magic handkerchief. That was her little way of getting him. And this is him in his casual uniform: jeans, a white dress shirt. They're always white, and a sweatshirt. I was actually shocked that I found some pictures of him not in a suit. This one is my sister's birthday party. That's him there on the end in a cardigan. And he probably had on slacks for this one. But we were at the skating rink. There were a lot of crazy 8-year-old girls. That's me here at the end. I'm on roller skates. That's why I'm so tall. I was only like in the 4th or 5th grade, probably 4th grade. But he was wearing slacks and his button-up shirt and his cardigan. That's his like casual out of the house. It would have been a little weird to show up at the roller rink with his suit on. Although he may have. I'm not saying he never has. And then this one I dug up this morning also. This is my dad with me and 3 of my kids. This was like 6 or 7 years. Oh my gosh, 7 years ago. Wow. This little one right here in the front is 9. And the one holding my dad's hand is the one who just got braces today. And the one on the hearth looks like a man now. They're breaking my heart how they're growing up. So that is my dad being casual. That's his casual. So he came over. We were doing something outside. It was August. And my parents came to visit us. So it was a fun time. The next style lesson I learned from my dad is maintenance and repairs. We live in a disposable society with the advent of fast fashion and styrofoam. It lost a button, time to toss it. The hem came loose, out it goes. Not my dad. His way of being frugal is to maintain the items he's purchased. He replaces the button. He has the hem fixed or the loose seam, and he re-soles his shoes. Because he cleans and polishes the tops of his shoes and he doesn't wear them to do dirty work, they stay looking pristine on top. But the soles do wear down because he walks, right? So he takes them in and gets them resoled. He has a long-term close relationship with the local cobbler. They know him by name because he brings his shoes in for maintenance before they're past the point of no return. I haven't made it to the daily wipe down on my shoes. And I admittedly have so many shoes, I've never worn the sole out on a pair. But I do take my clothes, I do repair my clothes or take them to a tailor to be repaired if it's something that I can't do myself. And I've gone to our local cobbler and I've said, oh, I'm Leon's daughter. And they're like, oh, Leon, like they know him. Like they know him. They're besties because he's in there all the time with his shoes. And that's why he can buy really nice shoes because he'll wear them for a decade or more. I'm going to ask him how long he has had his oldest pair of shoes. I should have thought to ask him that. That would be a fascinating answer. Here's a picture of my family growing up. That's the 6 of us. That is, that's all of us. And that back then, my dad wore a 3-piece suit. I bet he would now if he could find one. And this one's me right there. Classic never goes out of style. And one of the lessons I have learned from my dad is to buy classic clothes. My dad's choices in clothes and shoes are always timeless. He wears wingtips. They last him for years. This choice also allows him to buy the best quality he can afford because he knows his clothes won't be dated in a year. That's why he can invest in the shoes and he continues to get them resold so he can keep wearing them. Classic clothes are timeless and my personal favorite. I have several items in my wardrobe I've owned and I've worn them for 5, 10, 15, even 20 years. And they last and they always look modern because they're classic and I follow so many of the tips I've learned from watching my dad. I've written several articles about classic style and you can read more about those on my website. But this is a special collage of my dad in his classic style. He doesn't know I'm doing this today. I'll have to send him the link. I didn't tell him. My nephew's getting married, so he's on his way out to go to my nephew's wedding. This is my dad in his suits through the years. They're so classic. The only thing that might date them is the width of the tie. That one tie, the very first tie, is a smidge wide, but otherwise, it's the same. It's the same. It's all classic. He could wear it. Nobody would think anything of it. It's classic. It's fun. It's fun. I thought this was kind of funny. So I really enjoyed putting this together, and I can't wait to share it with my dad as my personal tribute. So if you're wondering which of these lessons applied to my college lesson of buying more socks and underwear so I didn't have to do laundry, I would say that falls into the be prepared lesson. I was prepared by having so many socks and underwear. I didn't have to do laundry. I specifically bought a month's supply of each because I hated doing laundry. I was busy. Nobody wants to do laundry when they're in college. Nobody wants to do laundry ever. But in college, you have more fun things to do. So that was the lesson. I didn't have that at the top of my mind at the time, but my poor dad. He didn't think it was funny at the moment, but he would laugh about it now. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Father's Day is it can be a hard day for many if your father's not with you anymore, and for a variety of reasons. I know that can be a day for many hearts. And I hope all of you have a wonderful Father's Day, and that you can, if you're missing your dad this weekend, that you can take some time. Oh, I wasn't going to get like this. And think back on some of your favorite memories of him and choose to step into the joy of the years you did have, even though you're missing them now. There is a poem. I printed this up and did a collage thing for my husband when our kids were little, and it's called Walk a Little Slower, Daddy. Does that have, I don't know. I don't have the author on here, but if anybody knows, we'll have to see if we can find it. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a child so small. I'm following your footsteps and I don't want to fall. Sometimes your steps are very fast. Sometimes they're hard to see. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for you are leading me. Someday when I'm all grown up, you're what I want to be, then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. Anyway, I love my dad. I love both my parents. I did a similar one for my mom. Oh, my tissues are empty. My tissue box is empty. In May. So we'll link to that one as well, because I learned some style lessons from my mom as well. Let's take a quick look at the comments if I can get myself under control. Missy says, I have been working from home for 10 years, and the first thing everyone comments is, oh, you get to stay in your PJs all day. No, I get dressed every day. It helps the mindset. Missy, I'm totally with you. Our oldest are triplets. They were very premature. We had to quarantine for the first 6 months. I still got up and got dressed, even with newborn triplets. Did I spend 2 hours getting dressed every day? No, I did not. But I still put on actual clothes. I put on a little bit of makeup. I might have put my hair in a ponytail if I needed an extra day between washings, but it really just made my days so much better. I'm totally with you. Dana says, you have a wonderful daddy just like I did. I'm so glad, Dana. I'm so glad. Kathy says, hi from Missouri. Your title pulled me in for the live. Well, I'm so glad. This was more for him than for all of you. I mean, the lessons are valuable, but this was more of a love note for my dad, but I hope you enjoyed it. Gail says, handsome man. I totally agree. Everyone tells me if they see me with my mom, they tell me I look just like my mom. And if they see me with my dad, they tell me I look just like my dad. And if they see me with both of them, they say I'm just a mix of both of them. Dana says, hello from Evansville, Indiana. Well, hello, Dana. I'm glad you're here. Karan says, my dad loved a business suit as well. Yeah, it's what he prefers to wear. A lot of men are just like, I'll wear it as long as I have to, and the moment I can get that off, I'm done. But no, he loves it. He does. Like, the tighter the better up here. My mom's like, if he's not being strangled, he doesn't like it. Dana says, I used to polish and buff my father's shoes. I loved doing that for him as a kid. You think I could convince my kids to do that for me? Because I do have some of my boots desperately need it. They do. Kathy says, so cute. And he is going to love it. He will. My dad's got a very tender heart. He's very sentimental. Tina says, great photos. It was fun pulling him up. He's like I said, he's usually the one behind the camera, and we don't often get pictures of him. Oh, here's another picture I didn't share. I'll scatter a few more pictures as we chat. That is, let's see, my dad obviously in the middle wearing his very classic trench coat. This is when we lived in central Illinois, and it was freezing. So this was a very warm one. You can see it's got this faux fur lining here. This is me right here in the stripes. How shocking, right? My oldest brother, my next older brother, obviously, and then my sister. This is when my sister came home from the hospital. So that's another great picture. Karan says, my dad's great heartbreak was he lost his entire wardrobe in a flood from a hurricane. That was harder to take than the house being damaged. That's so sad with natural disasters like that. But I totally get it with the wardrobe. I do. I do, especially when you spend a long time curating it. I'm really sorry for your dad about that. Melissa says great lessons. Well, I think so. I've taken most of them to heart in one form or another. Leslie says your love for your dad really shows. Well, I hope so. I love both my parents. I have wonderful parents, and I'm blessed to have them together or here still. Well, and they're together. They've been married for over 50 years. I don't remember exactly what count we're at. They're married in 64. They've been married for 58 years. Isn't that crazy? Is it Mari or Marie says you're blessed to have this emotion? I know, but it was unexpected. I wasn't expecting to cry on you today. It caught me by surprise and it caught me without tissues. So it was I wasn't expecting it. Vanessa says, I work from home as well and make it a point to get dressed every day so I feel better about myself. It really does. It matters. It makes such a difference to me. I mean, everyone can do whatever they want, but it makes a huge difference to me in how I feel about myself, how I feel about what's going on around me. Everything is more stressful if I don't. It's just, yeah, I can't skip it. Here's another picture of me with my dad in what appear to be my very favorite pajamas. And this appears to be Christmas morning. And I'm unwrapping a baby doll. And check out, well, here we do have something a little less classic. Check out those plaid trousers. Those are nice. But he is still wearing a button up. Audrey says, how long does it take you to get ready to get out in the morning? Well, the answer to that has changed. I could do it in 20 minutes because I shower at night and I have a whole thing. I have a whole system and I have a blog post about that we can share with you. But since November, when I got sick and it affected my health so much, I cannot move fast the way I could before. I have to take my time. I have to do everything more slowly. It's getting better, but I can't do it in 20. Well, no, I can't do it in 20 minutes anymore. But I will be able to get back to that. I just have to do everything slower right now. So that's frustrating, but I still make it a priority. And I have to do my physical therapy first thing in the morning. And then I need a shower after that. So showering at night doesn't work out for me anymore. And then anyway. So now it takes me longer. But you can check out that post and you'll see how I can do it. I even did a video showing you how I did it in 20 minutes. Kathy says, my dad is 95 and still believes in cleaning up and dressing for every day. My dad will when he's 95 too. For me, it's self-care. It just makes me feel good. I love that about your dad. G says, I've seen Depeche Mode many times in the 90s. Love seeing you in a graphic tee. Well, I got this at the concert. I saw them in concert I'd have to think. In the last 5 years, probably. I love Depeche Mode. I love old Depeche Mode. 80s and 90s Depeche Mode. We went to this concert. I didn't want to hear their new stuff. Like, let's just be honest. I want to get in your musical time machine and go back. Okay? I'm here for a time rewind. And so was everyone else. And so while they were playing their new stuff, it was an outdoor amphitheater. It was just like, the whole audience. And as soon as they would play something from Violator, hands down their best album, everyone was on their feet, right? We just want to hear Violator. Just come and sing the whole album to us and we'll be thrilled. I'll even buy your new album if you promise not to sing anything from it. just sing Violator to me. I don't want to hear your new stuff. You're forever stuck in the 90s in my life. That's evil. I know they're musicians. They should be allowed to evolve as people and musicians, but those are my memories, right? So I just thought it was fun. Today, the outfit on the calendar includes a graphic tee, and this is my version of a graphic tee. So that's what was on the Stunning Style outfit calendar today, and I decided to wear one. Kathy says, that was a great video of getting ready. You were so brave. It was a nice personal touch. I don't know about brave. I just wanted to show you how I do it. And I really need to see things done. I need to see, and I'm not like Speed Racer with the makeup and everything. I'm not like stopping and checking my phone either. I'm just, going without stopping, but I'm not rushing. But I just have to take breaks and things now. So I enjoy seeing things like that, how people do it. And so I thought it would be helpful to you too. And I'm glad you liked it. Okay. Those are all the questions and comments I see right now. I want to thank you for joining me. This is always so much fun. And I want to thank you for enjoying my dad with me and letting me share him with you. We'll include the link to the one about my mom so that you can check that one out too if you're interested. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. And I will see you again next week.